All right, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to the Seeds of Change podcast. I am your host, Mark A. Turnipseed. I'm happy to be back. It's been a few weeks, really, since I've been able to record, and that's largely due to my own personal, psychological, and mental health state. Things have been going crazy good in some areas and crazy hard and bad and challenging in some other areas. This is what I feel like the best life really truly is, though. You have these extremely good things going on, and then you have these rather challenging, difficult things that you wouldn't really wish on anybody. And that's where I'm at right now. Like there's so many great things going on with my business. I'm starting to recognize, the impact that having a skincare line with mindfulness behind it, I'm recognizing the impact that can have on other people's lives. Because when I'm going through this real hard phase of my life, right? I'm able to ground. I'm able to find my peace. I'm able to find my serenity through the simple mechanism of my self-care routine, only because I ended up creating a brand that's based off of recognizing your perspective through your self-care and through your skincare routine. If I didn't have this brand right now, I don't know where I would be. I don't know what I would be doing to find my sense of serenity before bed and when I wake up, right? I really don't know. So God is good. God is good at placing me in the places, I guess, and allowing me to create the things that are going to support me in times of need. Now, that there's definitely an element of faith there. I mean, I had no idea where I was going to be in the next, 5 years ago. All I knew was that it was time to come out of the closet and face my biggest fears and see what happened next. Ultimately, that ended up ruining a marriage, kind of ruining another ex-marriage as well in that relationship. It distanced me from my children and distanced me from my ex-wives. It distanced me from a lot of my family. It was a really challenging past 5 years. And then throw in the cog now that, I'm back dating women. And it's confusing for a lot of people who love me in my life and no less confusing for the person going through it. Now, when I am going through these types of things, right, where it's just challenging, and put on top of that, I really did just fall head over heels in love with a woman, and I went in deep. That's the way I do. I get really passionate, and I fell in love, absolutely in love. And it's been 3 weeks now, but all I can really do is still see her eyes in my head. I can still feel her presence when I'm walking through my house. I can still remember all the good things. And when I do, and when I'm in those states now, what I recognize is instead of allowing those go into deep pity parties and sorrows, I turn them into prayers and celebrations. I turn them into prayers and celebrations because here's the things: those events that occurred, they're really still happening. That love that sparked, that love is really still happening. And there's ways that I can shift my perspective. There's a little seeds of change that I can implement while I'm going through a breakup that's going to help me to not necessarily get over it, but to accept it, and accept it with light instead of darkness. I think a lot of us, when we are going through challenges, we look at all the darkness that's around us, and it can be so overbearing, especially in the time of a breakup, right? You start looking at the darkness. You start looking at the things that they might have done wrong. You start looking at the things maybe you've done wrong. You start concentrating on all of those things instead of giving praise for the love that you shared together. So my processing of breaking up and stuff now is celebrating the love, celebrating the light, and that ends up helping me to stay sober and helping me to keep a clear mind. But that does not help me as it pertains to the challenge aspect of it. As it pertains to the challenge aspect of it, I'm still at a loss. I really don't know what to do. I know that a stage of grieving you have to go through. I know that there's other things that will come up that may excite me, that may bring me into, freedom from that mental hell. But as of now, I'm not really too sure. Let's just add another thing. I also got a puppy. I went out and got myself a golden doodle a couple of days before we broke up, actually. And this golden doodle has added tremendous amounts of joy to my life, but it's also added a tremendous amount of pressure to my life. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes, I feel absolutely blessed by this puppy because I've never had a puppy that's better behaved than this puppy. She's already crate trained. She's already house trained. She sits, she heels, she stays, she comes, and she runs. She runs so much after me that she has ended up hurting her toe on a couple of occasions. Now, that shows me that I might be a little bit too hard on this puppy. But it also shows me that I am way too hard on myself and way too hard on other people. And this is largely why I haven't done the podcast, because I've been too hard on myself. Oh, there I go. Starting to cry a little bit. I've been a little bit too hard on myself, right? I've thought that, well, if I don't have this figured out, how I can get onto the camera, onto the mic and say, I'm going through a breakup and here's how I do it and here's how it works and I'm better. If I can't say that, then what do I really have to say to you guys? What do I really have to say to share, my wisdom? Well, honestly, this podcast isn't about me sharing my wisdom. It's about me sharing little seeds of change that help me to overcome the struggles that I'm going through on the daily, right? Because these struggles that I'm going through, I know for a fact I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only one going through building a business, having a puppy, and going through a breakup, and also, shifting in their sexual appetites, right? I know I'm not the only one. And so going through all of this stuff, going through all of these change, we need to be together. We need to be together as we evolve and as we change together. It's such a beautiful thing. I've seen it out of the other side, right? So 5 years ago, as I did make the change, as I did come out of the closet, look, when I came out of the closet, I felt like there was no other place to go. I felt like that's what I had to do, right? So I came out and I had no idea where that was going to take me or how far it was going to go or how long it was going to last or if it was going to be forever. But I knew I just came out and I came out full throttle, 100% gay, right? And I had no idea where that was going to go. Well, it ended up producing a book. It ended up helping me to cross multiple finish lines. It ended up connecting me with tons of wonderful people. And one of the greatest things that I love about it is it ended up smashing my homophobia. I used to be so homophobic, man, was I so homophobic. I would not even get into an elevator with a gay person if I saw a gay person in there. I was so homophobic. Oh my gosh. I was so scared of gay people. Honestly, it was just ridiculous to have many fears in your life. And if you're scared of gay people, maybe you need to come out too. Maybe you need to come out and wear little tights and wear little crop tops around the gym and dance like I did and suck dick in a bathroom. Maybe you actually really do need to explore your sexuality a little bit, because I'm telling you, the freedom from the fear, freedom from homophobia has been tremendous over the past 5 years. And freedom from that fear has enabled me to be a better lover to the women in my life, to the women coming up in my life. And I'm extremely happy about that. I'm able to be more present. I'm able to not be thinking all the time, does somebody think that I'm gay? Right? What a horrible way to live. What a horrible way to live. Does somebody think I'm gay and I hate all those people who are? Right? That's not a way to live. And, recognizing that that is what occurred over the past 5 years, that's one of the blessings that occurred over the past 5 years, gives me the strength to know that whatever's going on inside of me right now, it doesn't really give me the strength, I guess. It gives me the faith. It gives me the faith to know that whatever I'm doing right now, whatever life choices I'm making, whatever effort I'm putting into my life, it is going to provide wonderful lessons. It's going to provide brilliant blessings, and it's going to provide grave challenges. All of these things are going to exist, and I've got to accept them. Now, it's really, really hard not to run from them. It's really, really hard not to just escape from them. And when I get super, super tired, when I've exhausted myself, this past weekend, for instance, we had a pop-up for 4 days in public. All right. I'm actually more of an introvert. And if I exhaust myself too many days in a row, then I need to almost hibernate. So I hibernated. Someone who I have a date with tonight, actually. I'm extremely excited about this girl. She's wonderful. She's brilliant. And she introduced me to a TV show called Fargo. So I started watching this TV show called Fargo, and I seriously don't think that my eyes shut for the first 3 episodes. I was so shocked at this season. It's a wonderful season. But here's the thing is I hibernated, and for the past 3 nights I watched that show instead of even doing the stuff that I know that is good for me, like my language studies, my music studies, my reading. I even put that off the shelf for a little while, and I just paid attention to this show and my puppy at night. And it's been wonderfully restorative. It's been wonderfully restorative. So I know that there's these little things that I can do for myself, right? I can pull myself out when the challenges are becoming too big in this certain phase of life. So if your challenges are becoming too big in your certain phase of life, you don't necessarily need to run from the challenge, but you need to set up some time maybe in the day that you get to dissolve, that you get to let the cells, like I feel like the cells in my body are stirring around like a tornado, just running straight for the door, right? And they're bursting up against, and they're trying to solve this challenge, and I need to find that serenity. And right now, that serenity has come by just relaxing, by just laying on the couch, cuddling with the puppy, and relaxing. And then what that does is that actually helps the puppy too, because the puppy has been having a hard time. I've been training that dog. Y'all, Tim, the co-founder of my company, right? We work in my living room. And Tim came in one day, he goes, she's a puppy. She's not a fucking Marine. And I laughed because I really do. I treat her like I treat myself. I mean, I'm very hard on myself as it pertains to my fitness. I'm also very hard on myself as it pertains to my routine. And my routine has been slacking a little bit because of the depression. Right? So I feel like, although I've been keeping up with everything, I've been going to the gym, I've been keeping up with my studies, I've been keeping up with my spirituality, I still feel like the feeling of getting there is more difficult. And so that's how I've been struggling with that routine. The feeling of getting there has been more difficult, but I've still made it. Now, what's interesting there's this whole beautiful thing that I think I'm on the cusp of there, is that when a feeling isn't there, right, it's going to be hard to continue this. So I can tell that if I don't somehow get my feelings back into this, then I'm not going to be able to continue to excel in my weight training that's preparing me for my next triathlons. Right. So if I really don't get this feeling back, this feeling of love for the fitness, of love for the gym, then I'm going to miss it. Now, in the past, what I've done is I've employed different motivations for myself, raising money for a cause or using it to give back to other people. And currently, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm using my fitness to kind of give back to other people, and that I go to the gym and I'm friendly with these people and I give them tips, and it's been wonderful connecting on that way. And so, in a sense, I'm starting to build up another internal motive that is going to help propel me to the longevity of the gym and to stay focused. Now, this is a slow work in progress, right? So it doesn't change on a dime, but it's going to change, and it's going to continue to help me. And so I'm just looking at all these different little things as I'm going through these very hard times right now. I'm looking at all these different little shifts that I can make, right? What's a little shift that I can make in my relationships, in my business, in my dating life? How can I view things a little bit different to get back on the feeling track? Because when feelings aren't there, life really is a bundle of feelings, and feelings are wonderful. They should be there, the good ones and the bad, right? The neutral sappy ones. Those are the ones I hate. I hate the feeling of like, oh, I just don't want to go to the gym. Oh, I just don't want to do that podcast. That's what I've been feeling about this podcast. And those, I feel like they come mostly for me because of a lack of pride. A lack of pride. It's almost like I don't have anything to give, or I don't have anything to work towards, right? Triathlon has always helped me because I sign up for a race, and then, I have in the distant future, 6 months in the future, I have a race that I'm preparing for. And having something like that helps me to work towards something. Right now I don't really have something that I'm working towards. And so instead I've got to build something different, build those relationships. That's working towards something, right? Or maybe there's some other essences, some other truths about me that I can dive a little bit deeper in, because maybe I don't need the external reward of a race to propel me. What is it in having a race planned that propels me to feel like excited about going to the gym and excited to put myself through the torturous pain of training? What is it? Well, when I am doing that, I notice what I do is I think that I dream. I have these dreams, these feelings, right? These feelings, these deep feelings about myself that goes, wow, you are fucking awesome. You are amazing. And you are working into somebody amazing. You shut off 5 seconds from your swim time today. You are amazing. You did it even though you didn't think you could, and now you are going to be a better athlete for it when you race. Those types of thoughts and feelings, they give you that intrinsic motivation, right? But there's got to be something deeper, because that intrinsic motivation is really actually just an external motivator out in the distant past. Now, if I can look deeper inside and I can say, wait a second, so in essence, what I was saying was that I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for the effort that I'm doing. I'm proud of myself for who I am today. I'm fucking awesome. If I'm not saying that stuff, if I'm not saying that to myself, then I'm going to not feel like I'm awesome, right? I'm not going to feel like I'm Superman. And it's important for me to feel like I'm Superman. It's important for me to feel like I'm Superman. And if you don't feel that way, I will say, I think it's important for you to feel like Superman too. We all need to be our own heroes in our life. We all need to step up for ourselves, especially if you're an adult, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur. You're going to have to stand up for yourself, especially if you're a triathlete or an athlete of any sort. You're going to need to stand up for yourself. We have coaches, we have friends, we have everybody that we can depend on, maybe. But ultimately, it's going to come down to you and getting your feelings aligned to support yourself. So for myself, right, I also know that one thing I can do is fake it till I make it. And that's what I'm doing here today. I'm faking it till I make it. I didn't feel like popping on the podcast. I really didn't feel like I had anything good to say. I haven't felt like I really had anything good to say since my last one about shaving my insecurities away. It's like I shaved my insecurities away, took my beard off, and then all of a sudden I became super insecure and didn't think that I was enough. Whereas actually on the outside, I've felt more secure than I ever have. So, it's almost like I'm going through some sort of metamorphosis right now. And I'm almost just hibernating and re-evolving and becoming something different. Going through that relationship with Anna over the past 6 months has just been transformational for me. I really thought that I was an absolutely, completely different person. And then witnessing the divine feminine and the masculine colliding together the way that Anna and I did showed me something about myself that I will never, ever deny again, right? And it was just the most beautiful thing in this whole world. And I know for a fact that I want more, right? I want more of that. And I know for a fact that not only that when I have that, I'm a better man for it. I'm a better man in so many different ways. It helps balance me. It helps me see things about myself, and it helps me to be a better person to other people. It helps me to be more kind. So I know that's, something that I'm looking for, is balancing that masculine and feminine with another partner eventually when that comes around. But that's one of those types of things you just can't control. So the types of things that I can control and that I can look at, is going to be my feelings around my business, my feelings around my working out, my feelings around my puppy, my feelings around treating myself and my self-care routines. All of those things I'm going to be able to take care of. All of those things, as the world seems to be spiraling out of control, as love seems to be pulling away from me, as painful little situations occur and memories occur, those are the things that I can control, right? I can keep my house clean. I can keep my business clean and in order. I can keep my fitness to par, if not a little bit better. And when I fake it till I make it, those things are going to come back around and help me to start feeling like the badass motherfucking hero that I am for myself. And those things for you guys is going to make you feel like the badass motherfucking hero for yourself too, if you continue to do them. Just step up to the plate, man. Just step up to the plate and do it. And I know I'm saying that to myself and I'm saying that to you. And it's because I'm really hard on myself that I'm able to do this, but it works. It works. And if you are really hard on yourself, like myself, then I have a trick for you. I know a lot of you people probably know who David Goggins is. A lot of people who listen to me know who David Goggins is. And oftentimes they say, oh, are you kind of like David Goggins? I'm like, no, I'm nothing like David Goggins. Because when I start to become hard on myself, it actually hurts me. And that's all David Goggins does is he cusses at himself. He hurts himself. He gets mad at himself for not being enough. I see it the other way. I am enough, and I get to celebrate how much enough I truly am. By going to the gym, I don't beat down on myself ever. Once I get there, I celebrate the joy of who I am, the joy of me making it. That is called it's really more being compassionate towards oneself. And that in essence is allowing us to really dive deeper into the suffering that we are putting ourselves through so that we can emerge better and we can emerge out of that suffering as stronger beings with a better understanding of that suffering. Because look, when you get into suffering, if you try to beat it away, then really, what are you doing? You're not understanding it. You're not feeling it. Now, I'm all about connecting with my body to the nth degree. And my body, mind, and spirit. And so if I am not compassionate to myself during these things, then I lose focus, right? I lose myself in the moment, right? I've got to stay kind and compassionate to myself and to my puppy. That's something I'm not always to my puppy. I'm not always kind and compassionate, and I'm not always that to myself. So my task this week is to be more kind to myself, more kind to my puppy, still hard on myself, still driving, forwards, but instead of driving forwards with a David Goggins, you're not enough. Get up there, you stupid son of a bitch, and do your fucking podcast. Instead of talking to myself like that, talk to myself like it's the glorious day. Talk to myself like I am whole. I have enough. I have enough to share. I have enough to just be. All I have to do is be me. I don't have to put myself down any. All I have to do when I get to the gym is be me. And that is going to be enough. All I have to do when I get to work is be me. Show up and put my brain to the tasks at hand and just be me. Guys, if you can be you, you will be your hero. And all I'm trying to say over this podcast is just be you. And when you stop being you, that's when you're going to start feeling worse. So start being you. Be you, be you, be you, because the world needs you to be you, not the person that you think that the world wants of you. The world needs you to be you. Well, everybody, this has been a wonderful morning. I am so thrilled to chat with you all. Look, if you like this podcast, if you like what I'm doing here, then please hop on over to the Patreon site where you can donate a little bit of money to help me. I think you can do it on a little subscription basis, but donate a little bit of money to help this podcast, help this cause, help it to reach more ears, get into more homes. And let's take this thing to the next level. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to get back on the mic, talk some more about the little seeds of change that I'm going through in my daily hardships to hopefully help you not to feel so alone and to help you to recognize that you can be vulnerable, you can be open, you can be honest. You don't have to hide that you're going through these struggles. You could be a better man, you could be a better woman for it. So get out there, be vulnerable, be happy, hug one another, give some smiles, give some kisses, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.